Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're jumping into a really fascinating and super important topic, environmental science. At its core, it's really the study of our world and our own place in it. It's all about understanding this incredible, complex web of life and the physical planet that supports us all. So let's get into it and break down what that really means. So here's a quick peek at our game plan. We'll start by figuring out what the environment actually is. Then we'll explore Earth's four major spheres. After that, we'll get into nature's fundamental rules, see why this is kind of the science of everything, and wrap up with why public awareness is just so incredibly important. Let's get started. First up, what even is our environment? I mean, we hear this word all the time, but what are we actually talking about?
It seems like it should be a simple question, right? But the answer is actually huge. It covers literally everything that affects us from the moment we're born.
Okay, so here's the official definition. The environment is the grand total of everything around us. It's the air we breathe, the water we drink, all the plants and animals, and even the social and cultural conditions that shape our lives. To put it simply, it's our complete life support system. Now, to make that a little easier to wrap your head around, we can break the environment down into two main parts. On one side, you have the biotic components. That's all the living stuff. Think plants, animals, tiny little microbes, and of course us. On the other side, you've got the abiotic components, the non-living things. This is the air, water, soil, sunlight, and temperature. The real magic happens where these two things interact. Now, let's zoom out for a second and look at the big picture. Scientists have organized our entire planet's environment into four major systems, or what they call spheres. These are the fundamental building blocks of Earth. These four spheres are the atmosphere, which is all the air, the hydrosphere, which is all the water, the lithosphere, that's the solid Earth, and the biosphere, which is all of life. The most important thing to remember here is that they are all deeply connected. So let's take a look at each one. First up, we have the atmosphere. You can think of this as the huge blanket of gases that surrounds our planet, held in place by gravity. It's not just air, it's a super complex, multi-layered shield that protects us from the harshness of space and makes all life possible down here. So what's actually in this air we're breathing? Well, this is where it gets interesting. We all know we need oxygen to survive, but look at this. It only makes up about 21% of the atmosphere. The vast majority, over 78%, is actually nitrogen. Then you just have small traces of other gases like argon and carbon dioxide. Now, the atmosphere isn't just one big blob. It's structured in layers, kind of like a cake. Right down at the bottom is the troposphere. That's where all our weather happens. Go up a level and you're in the stratosphere, which has the super important ozone layer protecting us from the sun's UV rays. Next up is the mesosphere, where meteors burn up and make shooting stars. Then you have the thermosphere, where you'd find the International Space Station orbiting. And finally, way up top, is the exosphere, which is basically the edge of space. Okay, let's move on to our second sphere, the hydrosphere. This one's pretty simple to remember. Hydro means water. So the hydrosphere is all the water on Earth in all its forms. We're talking liquid oceans and rivers, solid ice caps and glaciers, and even the water vapor in the air. And this number just shows how much water we're really talking about. A staggering 71% of our planet's surface is covered by water. This is exactly why Earth is often called the blue planet. It's the first thing you notice when you see it from space. Our third sphere is the lithosphere. Think of litho as meaning rock or stone. This is the ground beneath our feet, the solid, rocky crust of the Earth. It includes the continents, the ocean floor, and it provides the foundation for all life on land. And finally, that brings us to the biosphere. Bio means life. Now, this isn't really a separate place, but it's more like the sum total of all life on Earth. It's the global ecosystem where you find all living things, and it's where the atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere all come together to create the perfect conditions for life to flourish. So, now we've got the components and the spheres. But how does it all actually work? Well, the environment operates according to some fundamental principles. You can think of them as nature's basic rules of the road. Let's run through these quickly because they're really important. First up, nature knows best. It has millions of years of practice, so we should probably pay attention. Second, all forms of life are important. Every single one has a role to play. Third, everything is connected to everything else. This means one small change can cause ripples everywhere. Fourth, everything changes. Nature is never static. Fifth, everything must go somewhere. There's no away when you throw something out. Sixth, and this is a big one,
Ours is a finite Earth, meaning our resources are limited. And finally, number 7, nature is beautiful and we are stewards of it. A good reminder of why this all matters.
I really want to emphasize that 6th rule. Ours is a finite Earth. This is so crucial. It means the resources we rely on, fresh water, minerals, fossil fuels, they don't last forever. We don't have an infinite supply. This one idea is one of the biggest drivers behind environmental science and the whole push for sustainability.
So because the environment is so complex and interconnected, you can't just have one type of scientist studying it. It really is a true team effort, pulling in experts from a ton of different fields.
And this slide shows that perfectly. To tackle a huge problem like climate change, you need biologists to understand what's happening to ecosystems, chemists to study the air, economists to analyze the costs, and sociologists to understand human behavior. It's a truly multidisciplinary science. And that brings us to the final, and maybe the most important piece of the puzzle: you. Protecting the environment isn't just a job for scientists and governments. Public awareness and what we do as individuals are absolutely essential.
So what can you do? Look, this isn't about one person having to do everything perfectly. It's about millions of us just making small, conscious choices. Things like minimizing how much we consume, saving energy, supporting conservation, and sticking to that classic rule of reduce, reuse, recycle. Every single one of those small actions adds up to a huge impact.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today. Let's do a quick summary of the most important points to remember from all of this. All right, let's recap. First, the environment is everything around us, both the living, biotic parts, and the non-living, abiotic parts. Second, our planet is organized into 4 interconnected spheres: the atmosphere, hydrosphere, lithosphere, and biosphere. Third, nature plays by some key rules, especially that everything is connected and our resources are limited. Fourth, to understand all this, we need a team approach with lots of different fields of science. And finally, public awareness matters. Every single one of us has a role to play. So I'll leave you with this one final thought. Now that we understand the basic components and the rules of our environment, the real challenge for all of us is right here on the screen. How can we get better at living within those rules? For more clear explanations and daily IGNOU videos, subscribe to IGNOU Mind Decoded.